Hello students and namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and our today's topic is your chapter number 6 of standard ninth social science, that is world after 1945. Okay. So basically I'll talk about the world wars which had taken place, right? There is the first world war which took place uh, between 1914 to 1918, and after that the World War II broke out, that is in the year 1939. So the people all around the world, they had seen a lot of destruction and loss of life, right? So there was a thought going on that such kind of situation should never occur again, and therefore uh, United Nations was established in the year 1945, right? So after that, what happened and why it was established, we'll see everything in detail in this chapter. Okay, fine. The pages of history are full of innumerable wars fought in ancient India and the world, yet the most destructive war which will always be remembered in the modern world is the First and the Second World War. The League of Nations was formed with the purpose of establishing permanent peace in the world. So, actually, after the First World War itself, the League of Nations was formed, but due to its failure, the Second World War broke out, and after that, the United Nations came into existence. So, that also we'll see further. The League of Nations was formed with the purpose of establishing permanent peace in the world, but due to certain limitations, it failed, and in 1939, World War II broke out. The disturbed state of mind and the horrors of World War II persuaded human beings. Persuaded means it urged human beings to once again make efforts for peace and protection of independence, right? That means the people, as I said, all over the world were worried, and they wanted that such kind of war like World War III should never take place, and therefore they started thinking that what they should do in order to maintain the peace of the world. Okay, so this resulted in the establishment of the United Nations on 24th of October 1945. We'll move further to the next paragraph. The United Nations, that is charter. Okay, so we'll read out that the United Nations Charter starts with the preamble. So, charter is basically, we have seen our Indian Constitution. In the same way, the United Nations Charter is a document in which all the policy, rules, regulations, and everything is written. So, it also starts with the preamble, and it explains the goals of United Nations. Right. So, as I said, that what is the objective or goal of United Nations is mentioned in its charter. First point, there is a determination to save the future generation from the pangs of all destructive war. So, pangs here means pain, right? Because with the war, there is too much pain. Why there is too much pain? Because there is a loss of life, there is a loss of property, wastage of money, right? And everything everywhere is destroyed and damaged. So, it causes a lot of pain, and to avoid that, right, the United Nations is working. Here emphasis has been laid on responsibilities born out of international laws and mutual understanding, right? So uh, in United Nations, the member nations, they agree upon each other that they will contribute their best level for maintaining the peace of the whole world. Okay, emphasis has been laid on developing tolerance, sahanshilta, right? Tolerance mutually so that the whole world develops socially. That means there is brotherhood, trust, and faith between the people all around the world. economic, social, and cultural problems should be solved with the intervention of United Nations, and human rights as well as basic freedom should be disseminated irrespective of caste, language, gender, or religion. So, what is given here, that if there is a problem between two nations or two countries, then with the help of United Nations, the problem can be solved. Okay, and below it is given basic freedom should be disseminated. Disseminated means dispersed, right? So it means it is trying to say that all the people, irrespective of their caste, religion, race, nation, right, they should be given basic freedom. Okay, the basic freedom of any human being on this earth should not be uh, under the control of anyone. Okay, they should be given the basic freedom. That is what is mentioned in point number 3. And fourth point, that is lastly, appeal to all the nations for cooperation to achieve these objectives. So that we have already discussed that in United Nations, all the nations are uh, included in the group on the terms and conditions that they will try to follow all the rules and regulations of United Nations, its orders, and they'll try to maintain peace throughout the world. Okay, thus United Nations Charter concludes that dismissal of war and constant urge for peace is the main objective of United Nations. So that we can already understand. Next comes Cold War, that was between 1945 to 1962. Right, we all know that after the Second World War, the world was divided into two parts, right? As there were two superpowers, one was USA, that is United States of America, and the second one was the Soviet Union, that is Russia, right? So Russia was a communist country, and America was a democratic country. So many countries they joined hands with Russia, and many they joined hands with USA. So again there was a competition, again there was a fight between these two countries, which was known as Cold War. So in detail we'll study in this paragraph. Though the World War II got over, it resulted into creation of America and Russia as superpowers while taking the place of England and France. Okay, before World War II, England and France were at the top. That means they were the most powerful. But after Second World War, America and Russia, they were in the top. In war, England, France, Russia, and America were together, but Russian administration policies created differences, and thus America and England separated. That means Russia had their own policies, right? And therefore, uh, the England and America they got separated because they did not agree on those terms and conditions. A strong competition between the two superpowers, that is the America and Russia, to establish supremacy over the world emerged after the Second World War. So that I've already discussed. The power was centralized between two poles, that is America and Russia. Therefore, this time period is considered as bipolar world order. Two means bi means two, right? So the power was concentrated on two sides, that is one side America and another side Russia. Okay, so it was known as bipolar world order. Owing to extremely tense relations between two power blocks, this phase is known as the Cold War phase. That is the time period during which these two countries were against each other, was known as Cold War phase. At various incidents, both the superpowers almost came into conflict with one another, right? There was a basic change in relations among powerful nations of the world after the World War. America and the Soviet Union, who had once allied means they were together, right? While fighting the Second War, they were together. Okay, so who had once allied and fought against the Nazi Germany and the fascist Italy, emerged as leaders of two rival power blocks and military powers. That means two countries who were together during the Second World War. After the Second World War, they themselves have become the rivals of each other, right? Thus, the Cold War started between them. Though Britain and France also had emerged victorious, yet they lost the status of great power due to terrible ruination caused by the ravages of war. Right? That means after the First and Second World War, there was a lot of destruction and damage in uh, France and Britain, right? And therefore they could not stand as a powerful nation because they had lost a lot of money and property, and everything was damaged over there. Okay, and here there is a word ravages, that is caused by the ravages of war. That means ravages means ruined or destroyed. Okay, Germany, Italy, and Japan not only lost the war but were ruined economically. That means financially they were totally lost. Okay, politically and militarily, because lot of people also had died in this war. After the war, the Soviet Union, that is Russia, captured the eastern areas of Germany and other eastern countries like Austria, Albania, Hungary, Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, and the Baltic states. So these were the countries in the eastern part, right? Eastern Germany as well as the neighboring countries. Okay, later on, they gave away reins of power to respective communist parties of those countries. So as I said that Russia had adopted or accepted the communist rule, right? And in America there was a democratic rule. So this Russia later on, upon some agreement, gave away the powers to the communist parties of those countries, which countries they had acquired. They did this to continue their superiority in these countries. During 1949, by conducting a nuclear test, the Soviet Union directly challenged the monopolistic nuclear power of America. Right? So, at that time, America was the only country who was having the nuclear power, and by conducting a nuclear test, right, it tried to challenge America. Russia, it tried to challenge the America. Meanwhile, democratic system was gradually established in the Western European countries that were liberalized by British and American forces. Okay, so many countries which were under the control of America and Britain, so slowly and gradually they were liberalizing their powers on those countries. Okay, next is the world uh, distributed. The spelling is wrong over here. Okay, it is correct. So the world distributed among army groups. Okay, fine. One of the most important aspect of the conflict of ideology was mutual distrust and sense of doubt on the intention of the rival group. Right. So after the World War II also, even there were uh, even it was the time for the countries for tension and disturb, because they were continuously under fear, right, that they will be attacked, or some other powerful nation will take control over them. So what is given, that is one of the most important aspect of the conflict of ideology was mutual distrust. That means they did not trust each other or the other countries of the world, and sense of doubt on the intention of the rival group. That means Soviet Union will think that America can attack on us anytime, and even America and Britain and other countries might think that Russia, that is Soviet Union, might attack on us. Owing to fear born out of mutual distrust and doubts, Both the powers established their own military bases. Led and inspired by America, Western democratic countries on the North Atlantic Ocean established a military organization. That means they started establishing their military power. That was known as NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in April 1949. That means America, as well as other countries who supported America, they joined North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Thereafter, to protect southeastern countries from the onslaught on the Soviet Union communism, right? That is, onslaught means a violent attack. Okay, so to protect southeastern countries from the violent attack on the Soviet Union communist, America and England established one more military organization in 1945, right? That was known as SEATO, that is Southeastern Asiatic Treaty Organization. One more military organization, that is CENTO, that is Central Asia Treaty Organization, was established in Middle Eastern countries under the leadership and inspiration of England. Here, various Arab countries joined CENTO. Later on, America took over its leadership. That means since many years, USA is considered to be the most powerful nation all around the world. Okay. Then next is armament, disarmament, nuclear weapon creation and its application. The Cold War, which was meant for dominance over the world, gave rise to fierce competition among superpowers. And for the sake of dominance, dominance means to take control, armament race was given high priority. Armament means producing of more and more weapons. Okay, so these countries, that is America and Russia, they gave priority to produce more and more arms, weapons. Okay, America had used atom bomb for the first time on two cities of Japan, namely Hiroshima and Nagasaki, during Second World War. We all know about that, right? This way, America proved its supremacy. Within next 4 years, the Soviet Union too proved its capacity of making atom bomb by conducting a nuclear test. So this created a power balance between the two superpowers, right? That means all the countries all around the world knew that America was a powerful nation. It had lots of weapons and power, but by proving itself, means to prove itself equal to America, even Russia also carried out nuclear test and it was successful, and therefore it was also considered equally powerful to America. Okay, America declared blockade of the communist Cuba. Cuba is the name of a country, and blockade usually means to stop people or supplies. Supplies means the things which is traded between the different countries. Okay, the things which are taken from purchased from other countries or sent to the other countries for selling. Right. So that means blockade means to stop people or supplies or things from entering or leaving, especially during war. Right, during war type of situation, a blockade is created so that people from one country or things from one country cannot go to the other country. Okay, which was on southeast to defend Cuba against possible attacks of America. What happened? America declared blockade of the communist Cuba, which was on the southeast. That means it put a blockade on the Cuba. That means no one can go out, or no one can enter to their country from Cuba, and no one can go over there. Okay, to defend Cuba against possible attacks of America. That means the Cuba had the risk of attack from America. The Soviet Union sent ships loaded with nuclear missiles in the Caribbean Sea, right? That is near Africa. Both the superpowers threatened each other to use nuclear powers or nuclear weapons. The world was almost on the verge of nuclear war, right? Because we all know that through atom bomb that was used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, it had so adverse effect that even the people who were born after almost 20-30 years, they were born handicapped, and they had some or the other problems. And if the war had taken place between America and Russia through nuclear weapons, then the world would have ended also, right? So finally, leaders of America and the Soviet Union had a talk on the hotline for the first time. Right, so both the countries' leaders, they finally decided to talk on this topic against, means with each other. The Soviet Union decided to withdraw its ships, and America decided to curb nuclear missiles aimed towards Cuba. Okay, so both the countries decided to remove their power, that is, armies from Cuba. The whole episode is known as Cuban Crisis, right? This episode which took place was known as Cuban Crisis. Okay, this episode is very important episode in the world politics. It began communication between two superpowers. This incident is important towards the process of disarmament of nuclear weapons. So disarmament means what? So it is the policy under which the countries they will decide not to produce more weapons, and the weapons whichever they are having it, they will discard it. Okay, they will destroy it. That is disarmament. The entire Cuban crisis is considered as the beginning of the end of the World War. So, during this Cuban crisis only, both these superpowers had a talk with each other, and the tension between the two superpowers and around the world got over or end during this or after this Cuban crisis only. America, the Soviet Union, and the Britain agreed on maintaining control over nuclear production. That means they decided that they will not produce more nuclear weapons. Experiment and proliferation. So now we must understand what is the meaning of proliferation. Proliferation means to increase in number or amount quickly, right? That is increase in weapons. So this agreement is known as partial nuclear test ban treaty. Okay. France, of course, refused to sign this treaty. China also conducted a nuclear test in 1964 and refused to sign the treaty. This treaty imposed ban on conducting a nuclear test in open atmosphere. And of course, except communist China, the other four were already permanent members of United Nations Security Council. Right, we have heard about United Nations. There are five permanent member nations, that is America, France, Britain, Russia, and the fifth one which was included is China. Okay, they possess veto power. Veto means right to deny. Okay, apart from nuclear weapons and missiles, the superpowers have also developed chemical and biological weapons. These weapons of mass destruction can kill millions of people without damaging any materialistic wealth. Right? So, through these biological weapons, the destruction will happen only to the people. That means, if these weapons are used, then millions of people will die at a time. People would die miserably while suffering from various diseases because of this lethal weapon. Okay, so lethal means causing or able to cause death. Okay, during these decades, many important and far fetching changes took place in international politics. Owing to many reasons, the Cold War among superpowers also ended, and so the nuclear ban treaty helped in this concern. India has always welcomed this treaty, but it is always a supporter of disarmament. So, disarmament, I have already explained you the meaning. The world will be always in danger until the disarmament of lethal weapon is not done. Okay, so I have already explained that disarmament means to discourage production of more weapons, and also to discard or destroy the weapons which are already produced. Okay, fine. So here will end our chapter or the explanation of this chapter, and the remaining part of the chapter I'll explain you in the second lecture, that is the next video. Till then, thank you everyone for watching my video.